Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Oman, and happy full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May of 2023. Massive fated transformation happening right now, and I have a special treat for you. I've recorded 4 different full readings that are going to help you and support you through this energy. You get to choose, so let's get started. For your full moon lunar eclipse reading, I chose 4 different tarot decks that are my favorite, that have very different energies, that will connect you to the message that is right for you. Don't worry, I'm going to go through every deck of cards and the crystals so you have a better awareness of which message is right for you. Before we start, just allow yourself to look at each of these decks of cards and the crystals on top. Breathe deeply into your heart chakra and set an intention for the message for your highest and greatest good to call out to you. Pile 1 is the Light Seers Tarot. What I love about this deck of cards is it's like the original Tarot of Rider-Waite, but it has a modern interpretation. The stone that I connected with this particular reading is serpentine, and the goddesses that I connected to are the Nagas. It's half goddess and half snake creature that helps with transformation. This particular reading went into transformation around relationship dynamics. If this feels like the reading for you, you can look at the timestamp below and skip right to it. Pile 2 is the original Rider-Waite deck. I have been reading this particular deck of cards for 20 years. This is the card deck that I learned on. This deck of cards reads in a very practical manner, and it's very honest, but it has a lot of love in store as well. The crystals that I connected with were the rose quartz, which helps us open up our heart, and the black tourmaline, which dispels negativity. The goddess that I connected to was the sacred Madonna, which is the mixture of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. For pile 2, the overall theme of the reading that we went into was healing with the masculine and healing the masculine. So if this is the energy that you're kind of working with right now, then this might be the reading for you. You can look at the time signature below and skip right to your reading. Pile 3 is the Zen Osho Tarot. These are my favorite cards. They help me build my entire business. The reason why I like these cards is they have this beautiful healing quality to them. They help us connect to the feelings that we're going through and the subconscious kind of underlying theme of what's happening into our life. The crystal that I connected to for this reading was the amethyst. And this amethyst is connected to my daughter Leela, which her name means divine play. So I connected to the goddesses of Lalita, which is the goddess of joy and play, and also the goddess Aphrodite. So there's a little bit of love in this reading as well. The overall theme of the reading that came up was all about community and relationships. So if that's the themes that you're working on in your life, this is the reading for you. You can click on the timestamp below and skip right to your reading. Pile 4 is the Thoth Tarot deck. This deck of cards has a tendency to not pull any punches. It's really honest, and it's the deck that I use when I need to get through something that I feel stuck with. The stone that I connected to with this reading is the tiger's eye in the shape of a tiger, with the goddess Durga, who also rides on a tiger. The theme of this particular reading, had a lot to do with clarity, action, focus, and determination. This reading came up with a crossroads, and it helps you make a decision. So if that is the energy that you're dealing with for this lunar eclipse, this would be the reading for you. You can look at the time signature below and you can skip right to your reading. Hello, pile one. So I have connected to the energy of the Nagas and the energy of the Serpentine. Like I said before, this energy is going to be around transformation. And I think this reading is connected to our higher personal spiritual growth. Before I start the reading, I just want to give a little disclaimer. This is a general reading. So if something in this reading doesn't feel resonant, no skin off my back, no skin off yours. Just let it go and connect to one of the other 3 readings. Because the energies in this reading are coming in specific, I'm going to be giving advice and guidance. If you don't like it, that's okay. But I would suggest, because you gravitated towards this reading, allow your heart to soften and open, and maybe some seeds of truth will be planted so you can have a higher evolution around yourself and relationship dynamics that you're letting go of and also that you're bringing in. With that being said, I'm going to jump into the reading. So here is your snapshot for your entire reading. I wanted to show you the full thing so you get the feel of it. And also I wanted to explain a couple of the different positions so you'll kind of keep along with me. This bottom card is the theme of the entire reading. So we'll probably continue to circle back to the theme throughout the reading. The 2 cards in the center is your present position. This is what you're dealing with and working through now. The card on top is usually the advice that drops in from spirit. So this is your higher spiritual guidance. The card in the past position is your past and what energies are still working from the past that is kind of still working in your present and in your future. And then obviously the last card is your immediate future from 3 to 6 months and what kind of lessons that you're going to be working with and working through for the cycle outside of this time and space. Okay, without further ado, let's go to your individual cards. The first card that I am going to pull up is the theme of this particular reading. I have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is a major arcana card. Major arcana shows me that this is going to be a big transition for you. This is also the energy of a spiritual or religious journey. The card that I have connected to the Hierophant is the Devil in reverse. This means that we are coming out of a time period of feeling restricted. Maybe it was a darker period. Maybe we had relationships in our life that felt suppressive or they were challenging, to say the least, okay? But what I'm getting from this energy is, even though they might be challenging, the meaning and the reason why you're in this is because it had a purpose. It helped you come out of maybe low self-esteem, self-worth, old relationship patterns and dynamics that didn't serve you. And step by step, you're starting to head towards the light and leave this devil energy that's in the reverse position behind. That means you had to connect to new boundaries, new self-worth, and maybe even a new direction. So now we're going to be moving into the present position. The 2 cards that I have for this is the 4 of Swords in reverse and the 8 of Wands in reverse as well. This is the energy of rest, but it also feels very restless. It feels like we want to move on. We want to bring in new relationships into our life, and we want to have our new adventure, but the timing might still be just a little off. There's a lot of things when we're healing we have to, it's just the natural stages of what we have to go through. The Four of Swords is giving me the energy of the stages of grief. So yeah, we want to move on. We want to get into our new relationship, but things take time. That's also the wisdom of these Nagas, that life is cyclical, healing is cyclical. And each little layer that you're going through at this moment is going to point you in a direction, this Eight of Wands, into where you want to point your passion, point your time, your energy, and your love. So if things aren't moving as fast as you want them to, just know that that's for a reason. Because if you started a new relationship or connected to new people or friendships or dating, you might bring in echoes of the old relationships. I do feel like there are people starting to drop in. In the top position here is the Two of Cups, but it's still in reverse. So what I'm getting from this energy is you might be pulling in people that give you the opportunity to say no to what you got in the past. It also feels like this energy of discovering who the new you is. The mirrors that we bring into our life gets to show us where we show up or how we're going to show up now. If you see the old red flags popping up, do you have enough self-worth, enough awareness that you can go, oh, I know that. And this time, that's not what I want, okay? So this is shedding layers, shedding different old habits so you can start saying yes to a new one. The energy that I'm really getting, though, is be patient with the process and be patient with yourself. This is a process. The snake energy, this Naga energy is going, it's not going to happen overnight. This is a process because what you're learning is so very deep. This is going to be a transformation that stays with you the rest of your life. So because you've been making a certain amount of decisions in love and relationships that maybe have been a little bit more toxic, you just have to go through this process so that it really takes hold. The new way of being becomes your new way of being, right? And so that you can trust that. So because I have a lot of eights in this reading, I'm going to tell you that it might be a cycle of 8. It might be 8 months. So this might be a journey that you're going to continue to go on until the end of the year. The more that you continue to take one step at a time, maybe date one person a month, maybe have new friendships once a month, really connecting to, yes, that's what I want, no, that's what I don't want, is going to help you become you. One of the things that I really want to say here is you might be bringing people in for sure, right? But it's not necessarily about them. It's more about your journey. This Hierophant energy is telling me that it's about you. It's about your process right now. So all the other people that are coming in are merely players for you. You're the hero of this journey so that you can develop your new self, your new identity, and your new way of being. I do see that maybe a real good friendship, partnership, or relationship coming in, but for this time period, for 2023, I think this is more about self-discovery, letting go of old patterns, and establishing new patterns for you as you move forward. In the past position, I have the Ace of Cups in reverse. The energy that I get from this card is that of the way we used to love is changing. It's maturing. It's developing. We may have had hard relationships in the past, which made us feel unworthy of healthy, good, supportive relationships. But as you go through a healing process and as you let go of unworthiness, the heart will begin to open and we will end up receiving new types of love in our life. But because we've had all these hard relationships, it has built a boundary around the heart. We've put up walls with our resentments and bitterness and with old beliefs that that's the only relationships that can come in for us. In the next 8 months, this is stripping away those old resentments and coming into the energy of forgiveness. If we've had toxic relationships, sure, we can blame them. We can call them names like narcissist or they gaslighted me, and we could stay in the stories. But that is not going to bring in a better relationship. That's still the vibration of resentment. And you're only going to accidentally and subconsciously bring in those type of relationships because that's where we're vibrating at. The only way to bring in better relationships is to be in the vibration of love. And the vibration of love, believe it or not, is a vibration of forgiveness. Forgiveness is connected to love. And I know what you might be thinking. You might be wanting to click off on this reading right now because you don't want to forgive those a-holes that effed you over. I get it. I get it. But if you can't let this go, you're just going to be isolating yourself from trusting others. How do we get into the vibration of forgiveness? Well, there are many different paths to forgiveness, but it is having the committed intention to start letting go. Start letting go of the pain, start letting go of the anger and the frustration that you might have. Here comes those stages of grief again, okay? There's anger, there's denial, there's bargaining, right? Well, they did that to me, so I can feel like that. Right? We can bargain all we want about how you are right. Yes, you are right. They were an a-hole, okay? Yeah, they were wrong. But we connected to this relationship. Sometimes good people can come into relationship and have a toxic dynamic. To some people, they might be good people. To some people, you might be a good person. To some people, you might be a villain. And to you, they might be a villain. What I had to realize when I was letting go of people, I realized they had villainized me. Even though I put so much love, care, and generosity to the relationships I had. But when I honored that the role that they were projecting upon me was the villain, and I honored my inner villain, I started to not be so scared of what other people projected upon me because I began to realize who I actually was. Because we're looking at this energy of the Ace of Cups, this in reverse, the future position is the Justice card in reverse. Here is this shadow villain figure that is kind of running the show or is upright. This is also a major arcana. This is embracing the villain within you, and it's also embracing your own dark side. If we can see the dark side within ourselves, we can have compassion for others and their journey of having their dark side. If we villainize somebody completely, so these old relationships, and I hear this phrasing, they're a narcissist and they're this. Well, most of us, I think all of us, carry the vibration of narcissism. It just is what it is. It doesn't make you an awful person. We just are stuck in our own perspective. We want our needs met. And sometimes we have subconscious and unconscious behaviors that help us manipulate our situation to get those needs met. That doesn't make us a bad person. It just makes us human. It also is the way of the wound. It's the way of the wound. We're wounded. We're all wounded. Hi, my name is Nicole Oman. I have wounds. Hello, you have wounds. And that's okay. And the wounds, when not tended to, are going to act out. It's the same thing as the person that has betrayed you, has hurt your heart, and who has rejected or abandoned you in some way. We have also rejected and abandoned people in our own life for our own reasons, whether they're justified or not. With the justice card, they might be justified or they might not be justified. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we all have, in somebody's story, we are someone's villain, and somebody is a villain in our life. If you can tap into this energy of, okay, I have to play the villain sometimes, and you breathe into that, it's not negative, but it is empowering. You are embracing a darker part of yourself. You're having self-compassion. The only way to have compassion for others and forgiveness for others is to have compassion for the roles that we also have to play. This opens up to the energy of empathy. When we have empathy for not only our role and our perspective and what we went through, we begin to have empathy for what the other person went through. If there was a dynamic that broke, whether it be a loving relationship, you also had a part to play. This is not telling you that to take fault for someone being not nice to you. It's not your fault. But you don't have to continue to carry that anger and resentment with you. It's not going to, being resentful, bitter, and angry is never going to bring in better love. It's only going to bring in more resentment and bitter people. The only way to bring in more loving people is to become more loving with strong and clear boundaries. The way to do this takes time. There's no perfect method. But what I'm getting from this reading is, by the end of this energy, I have the Six of Swords on top of the Justice card. When you start giving yourself self-compassion, honoring that they might be villainizing you, and taking responsibility that you might be villainizing them, you're going to be able to start discerning a little bit more clearly from a place of love. If you see, there are 3 birds taken off. There's going to be certain energies that let go, okay? And that might be the bitterness, the resentment, and the hatred. But here still are 3 birds on the front of this boat that's pulling the boat forward. Just because you're letting go of the bitterness and resentment doesn't mean that you're getting rid of your intelligence and the ability to say no to others who had that same crappy relationship dynamic, right? You still learned your lesson. You still can move forward with the lessons learned without the bitterness. You can still have better relationships because of this past betrayal, this past heartbreak. You can have better relationships because of your heartbreaks, not worse ones, because your heart is breaking open, not breaking closed. When something breaks, it shatters so it can receive more love, not less. Your heart is growing. So allow these lessons to move you forward. Let go of the bitterness so that you may bring in, by the end of the year, new friendships and new relationship dynamics that support you better. If you decide that you want to heal from the past relationships or you need some closure, listen to your own inner guidance on what that is for you. Do you need to write them a letter? Do you need to do a burn ceremony? Do you need cord cutting? Do you need to go on a trip and find yourself? That is totally up to you. Whatever is in your resources and in your means to do, or whatever you feel that would get you into a better place. But know that, I want to put one more card here. Know that there are more options to come. The last card I have here for the future position is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is saying the more that you look to the horizon, the more that you heal these particular energies, the more the fire in your heart is going to start to burn again, and new options, new good options will come to you. But I think that's another reading for another time. I think that you need to go through this healing cycle first. And once you go through this healing cycle, you will start knowing what you want to bring into your life, who you want to bring into your life, and who's no longer welcome there. Okay? One thing I want to say about a forgiveness journey, because a lot of people are like, I don't say the F word, meaning forgiveness, because because then I would have to let them back into my life. Just because you've forgiven somebody doesn't mean you have to be close to them. Forgiveness is just letting go of the bitter feelings that we carry so that we can bring in people that will be more harmonious to the way that we want to receive love. Okay. All right, pile one. I hope that serves you well. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like the reading, do me a favor, leave a comment, leave a thank you, and also subscribe so you can get more of this beautiful information. Namaste. Hello, pile two. So as I do your reading, I have connected to the energy of this rose quartz. The rose quartz allows our hearts to open and we receive more healing and compassionate energy into our life. I'm also connected to this black tourmaline, which releases negative energy, maybe processes and releases negative energy that is coming towards us from other people, but also it helps us release our own negative energy because we are human and we do have toxic thoughts and feelings, and it just is what it is. And sometimes we need a little help from our friends to release that energy that might be stuck. Also, I ground into the vibration of the sacred Madonna. This is the energy of Mother Mary, who also brings in very rose quartz type of vibrations of love and healing and compassion. And then I also, and in connection with Magdalene, who is that strong, feminine, empowered figure who, even though has a lot of energy of being called a prostitute or she's very misunderstood, she still stands in her truth. And she releases what no longer serves so that she still can remain herself. Okay. Before I start the reading, I just want to give a little disclaimer that this is a general reading. Because the energies that come in for these readings are very specific, I give a lot of guidance and advice. If something doesn't feel right for you, no skin off my back, toss it. It doesn't matter. Release it and let it go. If this reading doesn't feel like it pertains to you, there's 3 other readings that you can listen to. But because you gravitated to this first thought, best thought reading first, I would suggest to sit back, open up your heart, and receive the guidance coming through me from Spirit. It might be the healing words you need to hear. Now, if it doesn't feel like it pertains to you, but you might know somebody who it might pertain to, share it with them, because it might just be the very thing I needed to hear. All right, so let's start it up. Before I dive into individual cards, I just kind of want to show you the full reading. We have a couple things going on, and I just want to point out a couple of different positions that we have. When you see these lower cards here, the King of Cups, this is the theme position. This top position here is kind of our message from Spirit, things that are coming in from above that will help us with generally what's going on. We have the past position card in the past. The two cards in the middle are our present position. And then the card right on the end is the future position. You're going to hear me saying these things. Don't worry if you don't understand. Just stick with me and we'll get into exactly and hopefully what you need to hear. All right, the very first card that I'm going to start with is our theme position. It is the King of Cups in reverse. This card reminds me so much of the Jesus story. I pulled a card to clarify what this might mean, and it was the Ten of Swords in reverse as well. How sacrificial does this look? And what, about a month ago, not even, we had Easter. So this kind of gives me that sacrificial male energy. What I get from that is there might be a man in your life that is going through something very difficult. It might not be your fault and it might not be happening to you, but it surely is affecting you. And it might be a huge lesson for you because it might stimulate this feelings of powerlessness to do anything to help them, or it might be affecting your life. If it's your husband and he lost his job, then it's going to affect how you feel, how secure you feel, right? This energy might be a partner, a husband, a fatherly figure, but it does definitely feel like a more mature male that is going through a possibly difficult time in their life. This also could be a mental break that they're having, so they might be feeling a little lost in who they are in their identity. But there is definitely a huge change coming from a masculine energy in your life. So what does that mean for our present position? The two cards that I have in your present position here is the Three of Cups upright and the Ten of Cups upright. So even though there might be a big transition happening for the masculine energy in your life, there is so much joy, there is so much hope, and there's so much celebration and love that is coming in from this. Even though it might feel very scary, you might have to be letting him figure it out, or if it's a father figure, he might be having a health issue, and it might feel like a massive transition, but I want you to know very clearly there is a lot of light and a lot of hope. This transition, this thing that's happening for them is happening for a reason, and it's going to be better for everyone involved. There is a completion because I have the 10, but within that completion, there's also a new beginning that brings a lot of emotional fulfillment. I have a ton of Cups cards here. So this has to do with love, emotions, and also like emotional fulfillment more than like financial fulfillment. In the past position, I want to go to the past position with these two cards because it's Cups as well. So in the past position, we have the Four of Cups. This might mean before whatever this happened with this masculine figure, things felt very stagnant for a while. You might have been looking at your life as a bit mundane, and there was a gift from Spirit, but it couldn't come in. Maybe we were grieving or indulging and not feeling satisfied. But whatever this shakeup is with the masculine is bringing in an energy of that cup coming out of nowhere. See that new cup coming? It's actually being able to get into your life. I think if nothing happened to this masculine figure, right, there would be no change. It feels like change for the better. It feels like this like straw that broke the camel's back, but it didn't really break. It made it stronger. And it's giving you a little bit more opportunity to, hold on, I want to get one more card. An opportunity to what? It gives you, it just gives you new opportunity. Isn't that funny? It's just giving you more, it's giving you new opportunities, okay? So let's clear those cards. Let's go to the top position. The top position is the energy coming from spirit, and it happens to be the only major arcana card in your reading. Major arcana cards are the main cards that tell me that there is a significant change that's happening in your life at the moment. The Hierophant is your old structure. So this could be like your education. It could be your religion. There's that Jesus energy again. And it's also kind of the rules that you have made for your life. And that is in reverse. The rules in your life are changing. Now, this might be a cycle of time that this happens because we are in the eclipse energy of Scorpio. There's a massive transformation that's going to happen, and it might take 6 to 9 months for the changes that are started right now to really ground, to become your new foundation. So if you feel a little uprooted right now, don't freak out. This is good. Whatever is going on is going to make you have to let go of kind of the old structure, the old foundation of the way that you were living your life. This might be like, oh, I can't do that because, you know, I don't have enough time or money. But whatever this shakeup may happen might give you the whole new perspective of life is too short. Maybe it opens up that you did feel unfulfilled and that things need to change. So there's more fulfillment for everyone in your life. And this doesn't mean just you. Because in the present position, we had that 10 of Cups, the whole family is involved. So you might start new relationship dynamics to the people in your life. Maybe there was some estrangement happening, and now this is going to bond everybody back together because now everybody has to kind of work together because we have a common goal. The kids might have to jump on board. Maybe you have to call your siblings. Maybe you have to call some friends that can support you through this time. And this is going to bring deeper amounts of emotional fulfillment and intimacy. This is going to open up everybody's hearts, and everybody's going to start working together better instead of being so isolated and maybe against each other. This energy might also not be a bad breaking apart of things or a sacrifice. It could also mean a wedding. Sometimes weddings and funerals bring people together. Losing of jobs can bring people together. Things that are, big life transformational events make everybody kind of have to come together again, maybe even physically. So look out for that in the next, I don't know, it's probably 3 months where there is a party, a event that everybody kind of comes together, and they are together for a certain amount of time so new relationships can start. I do feel like your old relationship to your family is going to be different than in the future. So not that your family is going to change. It just means the way that you feel about them and the way they feel about you is going to change. In the future position, this is where it's very interesting, okay? Because everything looks like it's a little bit out of your control. Things are kind of happening in your life, but it is happening definitely in your favor. But there is going to be some physical work that needs to be done. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is, Pentacles is the energy of money or physical reality. And so there is a little bit of an imbalance that is happening. The topper card I have with this is the Two of Pentacles. So your money might be off. Like I said, whatever the sacrifice is, it might be job related. It might be even they might be getting another job, and so you're having to move. And so, like I said, there is some financial. So there might be some financial balancing that needs to happen, and foundational, that's the word I was looking for, foundational restructuring. So these cards together is all about balance. We have the 2 and the 6, and we're like in this topsy-turvy kind of energy for, I think, a 6-month period of time. I don't want you to freak out. Just because it's topsy-turvy does not mean that you have lack. There are opportunities here that will be more stabilizing, but it's going to take you 6 months to get to knowing what you want and where to actually stabilize. Allow this process to be, because there's a lot of changes that need to happen. And also I'm getting this energy of there's a lot of beliefs and thoughts that need to be released and let go, because the thoughts that you had in the past are not going to be healthy for your new foundation. The beliefs that you had around the masculine, around your husband, around your father, around yourself, maybe your own masculine, served you in the past. These were the beliefs that you had. I need to work a 9 to 5 because that's the only way of stability. My husband needs to work because he's the provider and that's the only way I have stability. I have to work. My husband's not capable. That's how I have stability. Whatever those thoughts were, whatever those beliefs are being changed. They're being ripped right up from underneath you. There's new thoughts. I can create a business where I feel emotionally and financially fulfilled, and I can do this. My husband can provide for me, and I trust him to figure it out now. I trust that if I can't do it, the people around me are going to support me, and I don't have to feel guilty for receiving help. Those might be the new foundational beliefs that need to be there for your new foundation so you can find stability. But you need some new thoughts. You need some new thought programs so that you can find that fulfillment. You also, instead of looking at things like this is success, this is the idea of success for me, I'm getting the energy of more of what is going to make me happy. Yes, I can have a paycheck that's like $300,000 a year, but I'm overworked, I'm exhausted, I hate who I'm with, I hate the company, I feel like they're always beating me up. Also, your husband, this might be your husband or whoever's financially footing the bill. They might make a lot of money, but they hate what they do. Okay. And so you might have to support yourself or support another into finding fulfillment. We can logically live off of half of what you're making but have more time with you, have more energy, go on more trips together. So you might have to sacrifice certain things that you thought and deemed were important so you can actually find happiness. And you need to be real honest with yourself on what makes you happy. Even downsizing isn't a bad thing. Maybe you have a house that is too big for you now. The kids have moved out and you need to find something that is going to fulfill you now. Also, you might have a big house and a lot of stuff, and you need to just downsize for a minute, save a little bit of money so that you can create more energy for the business that you want to create. Okay, so you have to sacrifice a little bit of space for you to get back on your feet and to create something that is in with your intentions for your true happiness and for the happiness of your entire family. This isn't just you. I keep getting that. This isn't just for you. This is for your family. This is for your community. This is bigger than you. All right. So, but it is very much, you are in the center of this, and the decisions that you are making are going to affect everybody. No pressure, but you do have to connect to what you love and what your heart wants. Okay. So that is the energy for your reading, my beautiful pile 2. If you like this reading and it resonated with you, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment or a thank you that it resonated with you. Let me know. And also tell your friends if you think that this is a message that they need, share it with others. That would be very helpful for me. If you wanted to have your own personal reading, on the links below, I have a link that you can purchase one right there. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, namaste. Hello, pile 3. Okay, so as we go into your reading, I am connecting to the vibration and energy of the amethyst. Now, this amethyst is connected to my beautiful daughter, Leela. And in honor of that, I called in the goddess of play, Lalita. And I also felt some energy of Aphrodite. And as I see these cards, I definitely have a theme of relationships, not only love relationships, which is in here, but also around community. Okay. The amethyst is also a connection to our crown chakra, a higher energy from spirit. So as we connect to these cards, I want you to kind of feel those vibrations coming in for you as well, so that we can connect to the messages that are coming up in this reading. Before I start, I want to have a little disclaimer that this is a general reading, and the way that I read is very specific. So if anything doesn't resonate or the reading doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. There's 3 other readings that you can get back into your heart and reconnect to. But because you're drawn to this one first, I would suggest to allow your heart to open, connect to the messages. They might be for you. It also might be connected to someone you know, and you need to pass the message along and let them know that there's a reading for them out there, right? But again, allow yourself to open up your heart as I do this reading, so that you can have the seeds of truth start to be planted inside of your heart, and allow you to hear the messages in the way that you need to hear them today. So without further ado, let us check out your reading. So the first thing I'm going to do is put out your reading so you can see it. I took a picture of it so I can show you what we're working with. This bottom position is called the theme position. This is the card that is connected to the overall theme of the reading. This is the completion card in reverse, right? These 2 cards in the middle are your present position, and this card up top is basically the general advice that you're getting from spirit. The card in the past here is the card of your past, what has been going on, and then the cards in the future are your future positions, what you will see in your immediate future. So without further ado, I am going into what these cards mean. Let's start with your theme. So the theme of the reading is a completion in reverse. So yes, you are going through a completion, but there are some things that are just not done yet. There's still some pieces missing, if you will. And this is not a bad thing. It just means that there might be a completion of a cycle, but there's still work to be done. And maybe you're just not fully finished yet, and that's okay. We have about 6 to 8 months where people are still kind of working on themes that they've had for the last few years, about 2 to 3. And what I'm getting with this completion is around community, finding where you fit, finding where you belong, and finding a group of people. Maybe your inner circle has changed. I know for myself personally, a lot of my inner circle has shifted since COVID. A lot of different political views, different social viewpoints came out, and that polarized us. And some people popped out of our lives because they believed in something inherently different than we did. Does that make them wrong? No. Does that make us wrong? No. It's just different, and we were different vibrations. And what they were supposed to be in our life, that particular relationship cycle was complete, and they had to go. But because of that, it almost feels like the new inner circle, your new community, your new batch of friends, your new tribe are starting to come in, but you're still working on it. It's still developing. Because with the completion card, I have this We Are the World card. It feels like things are starting to come together with greater harmony, and that you will start feeling a sense of belonging. Let me jump into the present position cards. The 2 present position cards we have is the participation card. Again, very community. I have community, community, community. And I also have the healing card on top of that. We are healing our community. We are healing our most intimate relationships other than our family, right? So this is kind of our soul family energy. And as we begin to heal, we are also gravitating towards other people that are healing in the same way we are. There might be maybe 1 or 2 people from your past that might come in because they've done their healing, and now they're like reconnecting back with you because they might have gone on their own path. You have too, but it was still a little bit more parallel. And there's a certain sense of maturity that you have had in the last couple of years, and a certain maturity that they have had. You might also have some people coming in from the past that you let go of before the last 2 years. This might be estranged friends from high school, or an old friend that you lost touch with, but you both were fond of each other. You just didn't talk very much. They might be coming into your life as well. But the main energy that I'm getting here is they just have to be aligned with your heart. Okay. So if there was certain little nitpicky things that you didn't like about them from the past, sink into your heart and notice if maybe they've healed those things, or it's not that big of a deal anymore. I remember the things that I used to complain about before I was a mom with friends. I don't care about those things. I can look past that. That's not a deal breaker for me anymore, because I have bigger problems and I have bigger mouths to feed now. So I don't really care about the nitpicky things that they're doing. I care where their heart is. I care how they're showing up for me. And so it's a deeper sense of what my needs are from my friends. And it might be the same with you. You might be able to look past old things that bothered you because you know that they're just genuinely good-hearted people that you just want to be around, okay? In the past position, I have the slowing down card in reverse. This also gives me that energy that maybe there have been people that had a slow healing path, and the reason why you had to let go of them is because their healing path was slower than yours. But guess what, tortoise in the hare? You might have moved really quickly, but they were slow and steady, and they're winning the race. And they might be coming back because they had to listen to their own timing of the way that they learn their lessons. And also, this could be you as well. Maybe you had to let go of people because they were moving a little bit quicker than you. But again, you've been the little tortoise that kept the little engine that kept putting one foot in front of the other, and ta-da, you caught up. This is a beautiful thing. I feel a really deep, foundational sense of support coming for you. I feel a lot of emotional fulfillment when it comes to community and friendships in your life. And I also feel a sense of belonging. I think whatever you have done in the last few years, you have gathered skills, knowledge, emotional and internal understanding, and a connection to your own inner guidance that is going to help you understand what you bring to the table and what you have a weakness on bringing into the table. You can't be good at everything. That's why we need to rely on each other. So as you take ownership of, I'm just not good at the business end, but I'm a really good creative person, or I'm really good at the tech, or I'm not good at the tech. I need somebody who's going to bring me in that. And that's business partnerships, if you will. But you could do this as more of like a generic friendship type of thing. Like, I'm the caretaker, but I'm not the one that protects us. I need that person next to me because she protects the group, right? You're seeing what flavor, what color, and what energy that you bring to the table, and what colors and flavors you need to that work well, right? That harmonize with that. I keep getting this energy of a stew, potatoes and carrots and the beef broth. All these things taste really yummy together when they're in this pot together. If you just ate the potato by itself, it would be bland, right? You need these other flavors and these other things to complement what you're trying to create and experience in your life. The card that is coming directly from Spirit, which I think is kind of cute, is this ordinariness card. You think with Spirit, it's like, oh, it's epic, and I'm getting all these awarenesses from Spirit, but this is very mundane, ordinary world stuff. What I'm getting from this is heaven on earth. This is what the point of this incarnation is. It's not to escape from this reality. It's to bring this heaven onto the planet and live your life as such. And if there's a lot of love that you're giving and receiving in your life, this is the vibration of heaven on earth. People working together, people collaborating, people not competing with each other or trying to tear each other down. These are ways, by being kind with boundaries. I'm not saying be nice to everybody who's just, taking the carrots out of your garden and taking off. Like, yeah, you can put boundaries. You can put a fence up so they don't take your stuff. Kick that guy out of the garden. Go away, right? But being kind to each other, learning how to communicate, learning how to work together is going to bring you a greater sense of stability, support, love, and fulfillment in your life. It's the little things. As I'm getting, the energy I'm getting from this reading is enjoy the little things. Be grateful for the people in your life. You have them in there for a reason. Don't always focus on the negative things. Yes, we all have things that we need to work on. But if that person is inherently good and it's working, then there's more room for it to grow, to be more love to be cultivated, and more respect and reverence to be had within these relationships. I'm also in the future position. I have two cards here, and I really like these cards. It's the sharing card and it's the lovers card. So I'm getting this energy too with our own romantic relationships, where a lot of people ask me, well, where's my soulmate? Where's the love of my life? Why have I had all these awful people? Or when is the one coming in? There's a lot of people that can be the one, because it's not about the one person. It's about the archetype that kind of connects or really harmonizes with our particular vibration. And there's a lot of different people on the planet right now that hold that archetype. It's the one that you have decided to cultivate the relationship with. What really matters is who is going to be the one that's willing to put in the time, the energy, and the work that it takes to cultivate a beautiful relationship. Me and my husband have been together for 19 years. Actually, a couple days ago, we celebrated our 12th legal ceremony anniversary. We got married twice. One was a spiritual ceremony with my beautiful guru, Amma. And then we had another legal ceremony in Hawaii on April 29th. And we've been married for 29 years. Jesus, not yet. We've been married for 12 years. Where's my brain? And what I know in this relationship of being together for 19 and married for 12 is that we have put in the hard work. We have put in the effort. We have done our inner work, and we've been there together, held space for each other to get through our own sticky points and flaws, but we didn't give up on each other. And when we made mistakes and we did stupid things, because we got together when I was 20 and he was 22, we did stupid things. We lived in Los Angeles together. We had temptations, we had ambitions, and we had a lot of immaturity that we had to grow through together. But we forgave each other. We started to mature in the fact and the understanding that nobody is perfect, and that it's about the willingness to put in the work together. Now, if you have a partner that's going, la, 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 I don't want to do it, I don't want to take responsibility, I don't want to put in the effort, then the relationship can't grow, obviously. You can't do all the work in the garden by yourself and think that the harvest is going to be there for both of you. Both people have to put in the work for the harvest to be there for the relationship. But if you have a partner, even if they are the slow and steady wins the race, even if they are slow and they are willing, the willingness is more important than the pacing. If they are willing to put in inner work, they are willing to communicate, and they are willing to love you in your darkest places, then you can reciprocate and love them in theirs. With the sharing card, I get, you have a lot of beautiful wisdom that you've gone through in the last, I want to say 4 years. And it's time for you to come out. This is not a time of isolation. This is not a time of hiding under the blankets. You have a gift to give. You have a gift to give to yourself. You have a gift to give to your partner. You have a gift to give to your family, and you have a gift to give to the community and the world at large. It's not time to stay small. There is a lot of support on every level here that is giving you the permission to move forward in whatever dreams that you have that are living within your heart. Do you want to start a community? Did you want to start a business? Do you want to start something that is going to change the world for the better? Is there something that you want to do that is going to shed a light on something that needs to be shed on this planet, right? There's a little bit of a truth sayer energy, but not in a mean way, not in a like, see, baby, there's a lot of that going on of like blaming each other. This is definitely in harmony with God, with love, with joy. Whatever you want to create, keep working on it. Again, I keep going. Whatever it is, you have the support. You have the support. You have the support. You have the support. Oh my God, I don't know how many times. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Even from spirit, they're like, you left us out. You said family, you said friends, you said community, but you didn't say God. You didn't say spirit. You're also being supported from spirit. Your spirit guides, your whole community behind the scenes, your ancestors, everybody's going, we got your back. So whatever this is, I know it might feel like vulnerable, or it feels like you're taking a leap of faith, but I really get that everybody around you is cheering you on, and that this, whatever you're trying to do, is going to be very, very, very beautiful. Just beautiful. That's all I have to say about that. All right, everyone, that is your reading for today. If that resonated with you, please subscribe to my channel. Also, send me a thank you comment and let me know how it resonated with you. If this is also a message for somebody that you want to, it's a message that you want someone else to hear, please share it with them. That will make me very happy, and I really appreciate that. If you want to book a reading with me and have more personal details that are catered to you, I have a link in the description box below where you can book a reading with me, and we can go into more depth of what this looks like. Until next time, I will see you soon. Have a beautiful full moon eclipse, everyone. Namaste. Okay, pile 4, last but not least. As I pulled the cards for this reading, I connected to the energy of the tiger's eye, and it just happens to be in the shape of a tiger. This is the energy of courage and strength. Because it's the tiger's eye, it's getting clarity and focus on where you want to go and what direction you want to take action on. I also pulled in the energy of Durga. Durga is the goddess that is a little bit more fierce. She rides a tiger, and she does cut away the obstacles and the things in our way, including our own thoughts, our own excuses, so we can take those firm action into where we want to head that's in alignment with our life. And I have to say, seeing the cards, this is all about clarity and direction, okay? Before I start the reading, I want to do a general disclaimer. This is a general reading. So if anything in the reading doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. If this reading doesn't feel like it pertains to you, but you feel like maybe you're listening to it because the message needs to be passed on to a friend of yours or a partner or a coworker or whatever, just share it along and then connect back to yourself. There's 3 other readings I have done, so you can go back and connect to a different reading for yourself. But because you did gravitate towards this reading, I want you to set an intention to drop into your heart, open up to receiving the messages that you need to hear in the way that you need to hear it, so that you might gain better clarity into and receive support that you may need for your adventure ahead for the next probably about 6 months. Okay, so let's drop into your reading. First, I want to show you the full reading. I took a picture of it so you can see the reading in its entirety, and I can show you what position means what. This bottom position is the full theme of the entire reading. So it's kind of the encompassing message of the whole message for you, okay? The next 2 are your present position. This is what you're feeling right now and what energies that you can work from. This energy that's on top of you is kind of the energy that I get from dropping in from spirit. This is your spirit guide's message and advice to you. In the past position is your past, obviously. And then the one in the future would be the immediate future, from anywhere from 3 to 6 months from now. I also pull some cards, clarifier cards that will help me with the energy so I can give you the right advice and guidance as we go through. So without further ado, let's drop into your theme. Your theme for this reading is the Princess of Swords. These are new ideas that might be coming in for you and different ideas that you really want to move forward with. Because if you look at this card, she is moving forward with gusto. It means that you might have a fire lit under your butt a little bit. You might have some determination that you want to do. But I see this energy to be a little bit smoky. So there might be some distortion from the past. And there also might be some distortion that's coming up for you, so you can't see either yourself clearly or see where you're going very clearly. The card that I have, the clarifier card I have with it, is the 5 of Cups, and this is the card of disappointment. So what might be fogging you is disappointments that you have come across, maybe in your past or right in your present mind. This might be disappointment of what you thought you wanted didn't come to fruition, or when you got it, it was very disappointing. This disappointment or any kind of failures that you may have may be wearing on your self-confidence right now in the moment. I know for me, I had a really big disappointment 2 years ago. This was around my business. This was also around people that were connected to my business. Because I was massively disappointed, it really wore on what I was capable of. It made me begin to start doubting myself, and it made me stop wanting to do the work for a while. I mean, not for myself, but do the work for other people because I was so disappointed. This was a haze that I had to get through, and to be honest with you, still getting through now. But the more that you take action, even though the thoughts of self-doubt, of disappointment and failure from what has happened might still be lingering, the only way to get through that is to continuously take consistent action. The more that you take consistent action, you will, like this Princess of Swords, it's like a blade that cuts those thoughts away so you can see the truth, see your new direction and what you want to create. In your present position, we have the Hermit card and the Magus. The Magus is the magician. The Hermit is a time and a place where we have to look so deeply within ourselves. This is a major arcana card. The major arcana is telling me this is a very important part of your journey so you can figure out who you are. And with the magician, what you want to create. It comes from you first. So as you start to let go of those disappointments and start to believe in yourself, and maybe the disappointment was that you were headed in the wrong direction. It wasn't the right team of people. It wasn't the right timing because you haven't gone through what you had to go through the last few years to become who you are right now. But it is starting to solidify. Look at that Hermit. It is lit up. It's starting to shine the light from within. It's not needing as much validation from external sources. Their confidence is coming from a place of experience and a place of internal belief. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can reject you when you don't reject yourself. And this is the journey you have been going through. Because once you know who you are, your magician, your ability to manifest, your ability to create, and your ability to wield your own power is going to be amplified tenfold. And I think that's what's starting to happen. Trust the process because there has been a lot of pruning that you've had to go through. Let's look into the past position. We have the 8 of Discs or the 8 of Pentacles. This is the Prudence card and it's in reverse. So in your past, you might have had a grand and great harvest, but just like when a rose bush has a beautiful blossoming, if you will, the roses die. Or if you have a harvest, you have to eat the vegetables, right? Or they will die on the vine. So we had to pick that fruit. We had to pick the vegetables. We had to harvest so that we can go back to the drawing board. I have to say it. We have to go back to the soil, or we have to go back to the tree and give it time to reproduce a new harvest or more fruit. We have to prune back the tree. So a lot of the disappointments that you have had, it might have been painful, but at the end of the day, I think it was a pruning that you had to go through to cut away what you had harvested, but also what no longer served. The dead branches, the dead leaves, so the tree can be healthy again. Know that the death process, okay, we're going to go to that right now. So on the top position, this is your advice from Spirit. Know that your death process that you went through was not there to harm you. It was there to heal you. The death in reverse is saying it's not fully dead. It just went through a death cycle. What you're trying to create is not dead. It just went through a death cycle. The relationships that you had might not be fully dead, but they had to go through a death cycle. Some of them might be dead forever. You might not get them back, but you might get people that are like them, that have grown, that have matured, and that are better off and better to serve you and in better alignment. But all the death process is telling you is that you went through a natural cycle of letting go. We got to let go of some worrisome thoughts. The death cycle did put you into a certain state of worry. Okay, I have the worry card with it. Maybe it brought you into like a state of worrying about money, worrying about your physical finances. But what I'm getting here is it's also here to help you create the new. There is a new opportunity here, but we can't continue to focus on the death anymore. That needs to be cleared away so that you can go into the crossroad that's coming up for you. So we're going to move into your future position. So the future position is the Two of Wands. Now it says the word dominion, and that can feel very scary because it feels like there's some dominance over you. But that's not what I get from this. In this card is two symbols of protection, okay? It also feels like you're in a crossroad, that you can choose one way or the other. Because of the cards that I have, however, I feel like either choice is going to fulfill you in a specific way. I feels like I'm even going to do, with this card alone, I'm going to do a little mini reading. So let's put the Dominion card right in the center. Boop. We'll put it tiny right down here on me. And I'm going to show you the two paths. I do feel like you're going to somehow kind of mold these two paths together, but I want to go into the cards that are coming up for each path. So the first path I have is the Path of the Universe card. In normal tarot, this is the World. So this is kind of feeling like you're getting everything that you're asking for. However, because it's the Universe card, in the Thoth deck, it's your own connection to your own inner guidance. There's a little less structure here, and this path doesn't necessarily make logical sense. I have the card of the Ace of Wands with it. This is a very inspired path, and it brings with it a lot of passion. So if you're looking for a relationship, this would be the guy who's very passionate, who like kind of lights you up. If it's career, it's the one that feels like the leap of faith that you have to learn a new skill. So it might be part of your art or part of your writing, but you have to commit to this because you don't have a formal structure. You have to come up with the structure for yourself. And what's beautiful with this, so the future position with the universe card is the abundance card, the 3 of cups. Things are flowing, things are abundant. It did come in to the reverse position as it came up. This doesn't mean that you're not going to have abundance. It just means it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears, the 3 of cups, blood, sweat, and tears, for this to be abundant. You have to put the work in. You have to be committed to it. Even if it's not formally structured, you have to show up to it every day. And there's a feeling, especially with that Princess of Swords as the theme position, you have to be focused. You have to have self-discipline. You have to create a routine that is going to support the universe card, this world card, to be put into form. So it's going to take a little bit of extra energy, but you can do it. Now, if you decide to do that and realize you're having a really hard time being kind of self-managing, there is also another option here, okay? The second option starts with the Hierophant in reverse, actually. What I think is really interesting about the Hierophant is that it is about structure, okay? So this could mean going back to school, a university. This is an organized religion or an organized job. This is someone making the structure for you, giving you a certain amount of accountability. But because it is in reverse, what I love about it is it might not be somebody up your butt yapping at you the whole time, like having a project manager who's like hyper incessant on you. This might be just a job that gives you a steady paycheck, that gives you a little bit of autonomy. There is structure, but because it's in reverse, there's still independence, which is really nice. And you still have, let me get another card here. You still have this energy of more financial structure. So it's a give and take. It's like, it might not be as inspiring or passionate or like this grand adventure. It gives you, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of that for more financial stability. But at the same time, the next card I have with it is the satiety card, or the satiation, the 10 of cups. So it's still going to fulfill you. It's still going to satiate you. It's not an awful choice as well. It's just being really honest with yourself on if you can self-manage and be a little bit more patient as the abundance comes, or do you want a little bit of more, do you want the unknown, or do you want a little bit more security, right? And stability, because this is going to give you more stability. It's still going to satiate you, but you're going to have to work under an organization a little bit more. If you're looking at this in more of a relationship aspect, he's the safer choice. He's the safer choice. He'll give you the commitment right away. He won't keep you on the seat of your pants. You won't be worried, like wondering like where his thoughts are. He's like, nope, this is what I want. Let's commit. Let's go for it. Let's do it. The other one might be like passionate and sexual and intense and wonderful and inspiring, but it might take you a little bit of time to get him into a commitment or her into a commitment. This one's like, no, let's go. I'm good. And it's still really good. What's beautiful, I put a card for the center. What's kind of the overall outcome for either one? And I got the Sun card. The Sun card is the most joyous card in the entire deck. So what I'm getting is, no matter if you choose this really fun adventure that has a little bit of uncertainty and not as much stability, but it's going to bring you so much growth and play and adventure, and might be traveling and romance. It's going to be great. You might be worried about money and feeling grounded. Or you can go into something that's a little more structured with still independence and autonomy. You'll have a little bit more financial security, and it will still satiate you. You will have a little bit more known. There will be a little bit more truth on the table, like this is what I want, right? And this is what you're getting, right? What you see is what you get, a little bit more on this route. But either one that you choose is happy. So you just have to ask yourself, what kind of experience would you want? And that's up to you. That's totally up to you. It's your sovereign decision. Just don't get stuck in the dominion of like not making a decision. That's the only thing that you have to make a decision, and it's coming up very quickly. But that's going back to your present position where the Hermit and the Magician is saying, choose your own adventure. Choose your own adventure. What do you want? What do you want to manifest? Look inside of yourself and then say it. Whatever you commit to and you realize, oh, maybe I didn't want that much uncertainty. Maybe I should go to that one. I think it'll still be there. Just make the decision and you'll know if that one was the right one or not. When it comes to dating, I'll say this. I had a friend of mine who chose the one that was a little bit more passionate. She realized when she chose that one that it was an echo of the past, but she caught herself real quick because she had learned the lesson. And then the one that was ready to commit was still right there. And she went, okay, thank you. That was a little bit of an echo. And then she jumped right into that relationship, and they're still together now. So, no decision is the only thing that's going to make you feel stuck. Okay. All right. That is your reading. If that resonated with you, please subscribe to my channel or shoot me a comment and say thank you. I love to hear that. If this reading also feels connected to someone you know, or you feel like any one of my other readings might feel that way for someone else, please share my message along. I do appreciate it. If you wanted to book a reading personally with me, I have a link to book a reading with me in the description below. And we have a whole lot of fun, and we can go into massive specific questions that you have. All right, until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse, and allow this energy to transform you into where fate is trying to direct. Okay, have a beautiful week, everyone. Namaste.